Thanks for joining us. We're going to, let's see here. So, all right, we're about to hit record here. Yeah, so we're hanging out with Dan here. We're about to go live and record. So thanks everybody for joining us. Of course, we're not only on YouTube, we're on Twitch. So check out Chill Ghost on Twitch and Crohn's Better on YouTube. And please join us. Feel free to comment. All those great things. If you like what we're doing, support us. Like us, subscribe, all that stuff, and we'll say the same thing here in a minute. So, all right. All right, guys. I probably should have got a beverage myself, but whatever. So,
we get the memo.
All right. Hey everybody, this is Jordan with the Crohn's Veteran Podcast. Thank you for joining me. I am with my amazing co-hosts CJ Cabrera and Renika Wood. How are you guys doing today?
Excellent.
Great. Thank you so much for joining me. We are honored to have an amazing guest coming out of Michigan, Dan Stowell. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me, guys.
Definitely. Thank you for coming on.
Very welcome. We're excited to have you. I'm looking forward to talking to you. I'm just just good things. Right off the bat. Tell the people out there who Dan is and his background with IBD.
Yeah. So hi everyone. I'm Dan Stowell, aka Nova Fusion online. I'm 22 years old, born and raised in a small town in Michigan, about 30 minutes away from Detroit, and I'm a senior studying marketing at Michigan State University. More importantly, though, I have Crohn's disease, and I had my entire colon removed in 2016. So yeah, my story really does start in 2015. I can kind of start there and then take it up to the present day. And yeah, feel free to stop me if you guys have any similar experiences or any questions about anything, and talk about it. So yeah, it first started for me actually on a camping trip with my girlfriend at the time. We were just staying in a camper for like about a week at a local campground. And for like the first half of it, everything was fine. But then all of a sudden my stomach just completely turned on me. And I was like having to run to the bathroom, like out of the water and everything. And it was just so random out of nowhere. And I had these worst cramps that I've ever had at the time. And yeah, it was just like a really shocking experience. And that continued on afterwards, after camping for about like 3 weeks or so. And like initially we just thought it was like a stomach bug or something. So like we were just waiting for it to pass, like that's just how things are. But after that, like 3-4 weeks of it just continuing on, decided to call my doctor, and he referred me to a gastrointestinal GI doctor. Mm-hmm. You guys know how that is. That thing is really slow and tedious, let alone getting an appointment in with a doctor. Like that alone can just be such a hassle sometimes. But yeah, I was actually diagnosed in an ER visit towards the end of that summer. And I like just went in for like really bad stomach pain and all that. And they ended up doing a colonoscopy, and that's when they found a bunch of ulcers in my colon. And so really just like identifying the problem, that was exciting, but I had no idea what I was going into, because like I didn't know what ulcerative colitis was. I've never heard of Crohn's disease. Like I didn't know what that was. Did you guys?
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, that's not. I didn't know. Yeah, I was diagnosed at 14. So not far from you, and that was the same. Similar experience, like being rushed to the emergency room. Then getting surgery and stuff, and then I was diagnosed. Kind of then and there, and yeah, I had no idea what Crohn's was or ulcerative colitis was or any of that kind of stuff. And just so much, and not only that, I was pretty much fine after the surgery, so I kind of didn't really even, really figure it out for a long time, actually.
Yeah,
So,
I can't imagine just going straight into surgery like that. Just
yeah.
that's
Facts. Yeah, it was really, really, I mean, as CJ and Renika know, it was very quickly. And so I went, I probably like in the span of minutes, like from the doctor filling out my stomach to being in the operating room was minutes. From like going from like wearing clothes or whatever, like, and then being, being my butt hanging out at a hospital gown, like an operating table with a mask on my face, like just like that, so like, in surgery and stuff. And they, and I had this, a scar about like that big because they had no idea what was wrong, and they just, and the surgeon just kind of ripped me open to kind of find out what was wrong, and took out 6 inches of my colon, 6 inches on my colon, and my appendix and stuff like that. And so it was a lot, man. So I can definitely empathize with, how scary and, and yeah, and kind of life changing it is.
yeah, that's
Definitely.
insane.
Definitely.
All
Join
of
the club. Join the not knowing what it was club. I don't think I've met anyone that said, you know what? I found out I had Crohn's or colitis. I know exactly what it was. It seemed like whoever we meet, we all say, well, what the heck is that? We don't even know what it is. And the doctors, I guess in their mind, think we should know what it is because they have been educated on these things. And us being diagnosed, we're looking like, so what do I do from here? Oh, you can't have this, you can't have that. Okay, you'll be okay. Just take the medication. We see you in 3 months or 3 weeks, or we will see you in the emergency room, or we'll see you for an appointment for another colonoscopy in 6 months or a year. Yeah, you make it that long without going to the emergency room for the next couple of days. But I definitely understand what you're saying about the not knowing. That's like the sound of voice around here. No one I met have known what they had or was given any information to help them get through the first week that I've met. I could be wrong, but so far we on a streak of saying Al says no. Can I agree with that guy?
Yeah, it's a good thing that diagnosed.
Yeah.
I was getting checked out. I had to do primary care doctor, VA, like the Veterans Affairs Hospital. And I remember sitting in there with my primary care doctor. I was explaining to him, and he looked at me, and he was like, "I have serious that's inflammatory bowel disease, itis." Like I just started laughing. He's like, "Hey, it's not funny." I'm just like, I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because only I would get some shit like that. But during the time, I didn't understand how severe it was until symptoms started to arise and health started to go drain.
Yeah, I felt the same way. Like only this would happen to me, right?
Yeah.
Lucky.
Right.
We're
Right.
lucky.
So yeah. So Dan. So tell me about the. I mean, if you don't mind sharing, they had the experience. It was like so you had your colon removed, right? And so what? So kind of the before, during, and after of that experience.
Yeah. So all that diagnosis was in the summer going into my senior year of high school. And I tried going the first 2 weeks like a normal kid and all that, but I ended up being homebound for the whole year. And 4 days after graduation is when I had my first of 2 surgeries. And that first one removed my entire colon. And during that period of the 2 surgeries, I had a colonoscopy, a bag attached to me. And I don't know if anyone here has experienced one of those, but man, those were some of my darkest days, and it was rough.
Right. I've had a temporary, I guess a temporary ileostomy, and that was, hellish would be, my experience with that, and just because kind of crappy medical care, along with kind of going to the bathroom that way was just not fun at all, and so yeah, I feel you on that.
Yeah, and so, are you gonna say something?
What I was gonna say is that so me or CJ.
No, you.
Yeah, you.
Oh, I have an ostomy now, and I think with the ostomy there are some pros and some cons. I haven't had any challenges, not one, with my ostomy. I think the first challenges, well, I would say I did have initially was the shock of saying I have to have one. I knew it was gonna come one day. Like I just knew it. When I first got diagnosed, I said, oh my God, I'm gonna have to have an ostomy appliance or bag, whatever. But I knew, but I fought against that the thought, and maybe, not me, I'd be okay. But then my disease progressed so quickly that I had no other option but to have one. And it really has given me back a quality of life that I didn't have prior to me having just regular bouts of diarrhea, constipation. I developed stenosis, which is the stricture of the anal canal, like where I had to have an ostomy. But there are people who have had difficulty time adjusting to that transition. And guess what? For me, I have accepted it, but every day is not like, oh my God, I have this going on. It's not that easy, but I've learned that this is a part of my life and that's permanent. And I'm more accepting of it, but every day is not the best day. Don't get it wrong now, but it's better than what I had going on initially. But I do understand the things you may experience. So what were some of the things that you was experiencing with that made that like some of your hardest times transitioning from, being this active person in high school and college to, having this newfound life? Like what were some of the challenges you had with that?
Like with the ostomy bag in particular? Yeah, so I'm actually glad you said that because like going into it, I felt awful. And when I got the ostomy bag, I actually felt a lot better. And even when I got reconnected, like I felt worse than I did when I had the ostomy bag. So like the pros and cons of that, definitely I understand that part. But for me, it was that mental factor, like going into the surgeries and all that, like I was keeping tough and, like I can do this and all that. But when I had this consultation for surgery and they were really laying out the ostomy bag, like I just completely broke down into tears. Like I just couldn't stop. Like it was real at that point. And yeah, so like the big thing, it was just mentally just like looking at myself every day, even just like, oh, like I was in that victim mindset still of like, oh, why did this happen to me? And kind of like playing the guilt trip a little bit. Definitely did not accept it or myself at the time. So yeah, I hardly went out in public, even though I was feeling a little bit better, well, a lot better than I was. It was just mentally like I just wasn't there yet to accept it.
So, so for the folks listening out there, what are some of the things you do to kind of, keep your mind right now?
Yeah, that's a great question. One of the biggest things for me is like remembering that everything is temporary. Like that ostomy experience was a temporary experience. I was lucky for that, but just like when things are bad, you got to appreciate what you do have and just know that the tides will eventually turn. And it's just as important to soak in the present moment when things are good, because those good moments aren't going to last forever either. So yeah, just remembering that everything's temporary and just having that awareness, I think, is really important.
I agree. I agree to that. Definitely. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. We have a tendency, I'm gonna say we collectively, but I know we all probably experience bouts of depression, bouts of anxiety, bouts of grief and loss of self prior to diagnosis. What are some of the things that you do to keep your mental health at bay? Like even right now, how are you keeping your mental health centered so it's not, still in that state of why me? So what's the things that you do?
Yeah, I mean, I like going back to gratitude. Again, like expressing gratitude for the things I do have in life and not focusing on what's already happened, because like you can't like live in the past because, you're never going to get that back. And, just thinking about that all day, it doesn't really do any positive to you. Like you can go there, learn the lesson, and then move on from it. And I just think that's the biggest thing, is like not dwelling on things, because more things are going to come and that'll just snow pile on you. So you gotta enjoy the good things where you can.
I agree.
So yes, I'm curious. And so, we were talking a little bit, before we started recording about your school and stuff like that. And So why, so what about marketing, interests you and what do you hope to do with it?
Yeah, so I I was debating on like what I was gonna do for the longest time. Like it started with architecture and then moved
Cool.
to that business side. But for me, especially with getting diagnosed with Crohn's, having that freedom that marketing allows, and I am building my brand on the side. So kind of like learning the things in school and applying them to my brand as I go. But
Cool.
yeah, just that overall freedom. That's kind of like the biggest thing for me right now. And I do enjoy branding, so it's a good.
Awesome.
Paving your own way, being your own boss.
Could you tell us about
Yeah, so it really started in 2019. I just kind of like I started a blog website just to like share the first 4 years of my story. I just wanted to like get my story out there and help out as many people as I can, and connect with people with similar situations like you guys are doing. And I didn't know where it was gonna go from there. Like all I knew is like I wanted to get my story out there and help where I can. And it's transitioned over the years. More so now, it's more of like a community brand that I'm building because it started off as just danstowell.co and I was like sharing my experiences. But now it's like I want to like the purpose of it is to honor individuals who've overcame significant personal struggles themselves, and then to share their stories and pull out those universal life lessons that we can all apply, because like not everybody can relate to Crohn's, and I get that, but there's certain lessons that I did and I used that you could apply to a different situation, and it's just all about finding those things and helping out where I can.
I love it.
Love it. That's
So
awesome.
creative.
Wow.
Like, what's worse is the word innovating. It's so innovating.
Yeah.
I think I said it right.
Awesome. Yeah, they're wishing you well, wishing you well, and like if we can, of course, if myself, or a Crohn's veteran or whatever can be of service to you and help, help your brand, let us know. And
Yeah.
so,
I appreciate it.
I have a question. When see the box right here. So in your family, do anybody else in your family have any type of I'm gonna say, I always say it, inflammatory bowel disease? Anybody in your family have this disease? Did you know about?
I'm the only one as far as I know of. So
I found out when I have got my diagnosis with Crohn. I have a cousin. I have a first cousin on my mom, which was my mom niece. We're the two first kids out of the two sisters, and we both have Crohn's. My cousin, she has more of the inflammation in her joints. She doesn't have more of the GI issue like I have, and I have more of the GI issues, none of the joint issues. So I be trying to look on my lifeline and see, does anybody in my family have this, and is it generational or whatnot? But I'm kind of learning that I think other people had it, older people have had it, but because of the research and because Crohn's was really more discussed, I think like in the 70s, I want to say that I read about, I could be wrong. That's when people start to really have an understanding of what it was versus them saying, well, their stomach is hurting, they can't drink milk, they can't eat green. There's more to it than just having food intolerances at times. So, but yeah.
right.
yeah, exactly.
Definitely. And a lot of younger people are really coming out with these diagnoses of having ulcerative colitis and having Crohn's disease. Like we mentioned earlier, we didn't even know about this until now. And we didn't even know it was a whole community of people like us, young people that even had these diagnoses. So I think we're bringing it more to the light and people are more accepting of it because they have more support. And I'm so happy for this IBD community because I don't know where I would be if I didn't even correct Crohn's and sexy. I probably still having myself under my other page, just living life, just wondering who out here that's kind of like me. So I commend you for having your own lane that you're paving for yourself. So kudos to you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And like I
Definitely.
said before we started, like I wish that I knew about your guys' pages when I first got sick. Like it just would have been such a game changer for me.
Well, awesome. We hope, our plan is to, hopefully, use, stories like yours to, to be that for other people. And so that's what I'm the same way. Like, I wish, I wish I'd known people to relate to talk to, get, stories from the trenches from, all that kind of stuff, but that's what we're doing now. And so, like be the change you want to see in the world, right? And so,
Yeah.
so with that,
I got a question.
yeah.
In Michigan, have you met any IBD?
Um, very few. Like, there's probably like one or two people my age, and then two of my friends' moms had it. So very few.
Mm.
Have you connected with?
Yeah, we've talked about like our experiences a little bit, help out each other where we can, but nothing too much.
Mhm. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Well,
No,
actually, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jordan.
yeah, I just want to say also about, Michigan City, I have a lot of family up there. I'm in Michigan as often as I can be. I'm looking forward, to the opportunity to, meet you in person and hang out in person, and, yeah, hopefully, yeah, be close, be a service to each other, man. So,
That'd be awesome.
yeah, yeah, and so, Renika, you say something?
Yeah, since I know that a lot of people in Michigan that may have this diagnosis, you can always start up a little small support group for persons, younger persons that have IBD. What I did was I went to my local well, I stay in Raleigh. I went to my local city where I live in and put like the coalition here and see what's going on in the area. Or either I go and search like Michigan IBD'ers or whatever, like on Instagram, like by the hashtags. And I found more people that live right around here that I didn't even know stay here. Like one of my biggest supporters live up the road from me. I was like, what? You stay the road? I had no idea. She live up the road, not even 15-minute drive. There are so many people that's in your area you probably not even aware of, but I'm just glad that we can connect universally with this social media, because even though we are so far apart, we still can be connected with the Zoom meetings and us having all these type of Google meetups and whatnot. So even though you're far away, support is always there for you, even though you may not think it is. But we don't know you personally, but me meet you today, I feel like I know you because you are one of our fellow IBD'ers, so we are family now. We are family. And see what's going on. Questions. Yeah, look, I'm a veteran. Look, I'm 10 years in the game now, 11 years. Jordan got some years. TJ, new diagnosed. So we are all, but we still learn every day through the course of time. No matter how long we've had it, we still learn about from each other. So it's a pleasure to meet you. Definitely.
Yep, like Dan at Crohn's veteran. So
yeah.
Cool. Well, so a couple things. One, anybody listening out there, if you like what you heard, if you like this interview, please, subscribe to us. Join us. Become a member. All those fun things. Dan, how can people, find you and connect with you?
Yeah, so my website is novafusion.co. Again, my first blog post on there, When Life Strikes, goes through the first 4 years of my health journey. So if anyone's interested in seeing the details of that, I'm mainly on Instagram, Novafusion Co. And my personal is Dan with double underscores in between each letter. And lastly, I am working on an online course to go live in August. So if anyone's interested in that, it's about finding your purpose, shifting your perspective, and developing consistent progress. So again, if you're interested in that, please message me and I can add you to my email list.
Sweet. Well, all right,
Heard
awesome.
it here, guys. Sign up for that class because
Exactly. I was like, okay, I might be doing it too.
my
Okay,
purpose
okay. That's awesome. Well, wish you much success in everything that you do. And again, for the folks that are listening, you can check out Crohn's Veteran on www.crohnsveteran.com. You can check out our Teespring store. We're going to be adding new stuff to there soon, like hats and backpacks and all kind of fun stuff. We have Crohn's stuff, colitis stuff. Everything. So please support the brand, support the lifestyle. You can check out our YouTube channel, Crohn's Veteran, on there. We're on all the podcast platforms, Apple, Google, Anchor, Spotify, all that kind of fun stuff. And again, thank you for your love and support. And thanks to Dan Stowell for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks again for having me, guys. It's been an
Thank
honor
you.
to share the stage with you fellow warriors.
Definitely. Thank you.
Definitely mutual, man. You're a warrior as well, and